Be agreed to, and I call the member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I remember the recession of the 1990s. I remember the cost economically and human that was incurred as a consequence of a downturn. When you walk down the main streets of places like Mornington or Hampton Street in Hampton, with boarded-up shops because there were no customers or anybody who could afford the rents. Deputy Speaker, the reason we believe so strongly in a policy of maximising economic opportunity, economic management and economic prosperity is not because we understand the economic impact, though we do. It is because we understand the human impact of economic decline. We understand that it isn't just boarded up shops because there are no customers. It's because businesses are no longer able to create jobs to support families, to support workers. And what's the impact? People do lose their jobs. There's family strain as people are no longer able to support themselves and their broader family. You get breakdown. You get families that can no longer afford to live where they own their own homes and have to sell. Ultimately, that is the cost. And I say this particularly for Australians under the age of 45. Australians under the age of 45, to their privilege, have never had to live as an adult during a recession. I remember the last recession, and I remember that human impact, and more critically, the human cost that came with it. Because it isn't just about not having a bit of surplus cash in the family household budget. It comes down to the fact that those families had to take kids out of schools because they had to relocate because they could no longer live where they chose to in the past. That's why we think economic management matters so much. Economic leadership matters so much. It isn't because we understand the economic impact, it's because we understand the human benefit, Deputy Speaker. Economic growth, time immemorial, has been the most powerful instrument to improve the quality of life of the people it is there to serve. Historically, growth has been driven by free markets and private enterprise, of individuals coming together to form businesses and commercial opportunities to benefit themselves, but of course the community around them. It's the kind of opportunity that leads to an unprecedented increase in living standards in most parts of the world, around the world today. And today it gives young Australians the opportunity to grow up in a society where they see optimism at their core rather than pessimism. But we can never take it for granted. The June quarter 2018 national accounts highlights the strength and the resilience of the Australian economy. But it does not happen by accident. 27 years of its sustained economic growth and consecutive economic growth is not experienced by most countries on earth. We need to find ways to make sure that we can continue to grow our economy, and that is what this government is doing. It is making sure that if you are part of the enormous middle-income earning group of Australians, you will not pay more than 32 cents in the dollar under this government's economic plan to reduce tax burdens. We're making sure that those who don't earn a high income are not carrying too much of the burden. But we're also making sure that those Australians who have done well will make sure they carry part of the cost of society as well. And what's the benefit? Part of the reform package of this government has seen 140,000 Australians move out from consuming the benefits of the tax system to being able to stand on their own 2 feet, to enjoy the pride and the dignity that comes with work, and to be able to support themselves and the people they love and care about so that they can live their own Australian dream. We've seen 1.1 million new people working in the private sector. And most critically, 100,000 new jobs for young Australians, whether it's because they've come from school and gone into apprenticeships, come from school and gone on to tertiary education at a TAFE or a university level and gone into professional services or into the industries that will grow this economy for the next generation above them, to build this nation's future. And that's the choice we made at the last election as a country, to back a government that was going to deliver the policies to deliver the sustained economic growth for Australians. And our new Prime Minister has made it clear that is who we are governing for, Australians.
Thank the member for Goldstein.